The number of earthquakes in Oklahoma continues to drop. The reasons for that are several, including reduced oil and gas activity in north central Oklahoma, where each well was producing far more wastewater than oil or gas. For the last year, however, the experts at the Geological Survey and the Corporation Commission have been noticing a new brand of earthquake, those caused directly by hydraulic fracturing.
Grady County fits into one of the most prolific and profitable oil fields in America. It's known as the SCOOP, short for the South Central Oklahoma Oil Province. It takes little time to find drill sites in the county that are being hydraulically fractured. Just a couple of miles off State Highway 37, south of Tuttle, you begin to run into fracking operations. This one by Lynn Energy, and a short distance away another site operated by Citizen Energy. A site in between the two is the prime suspect in a series of earthquakes in the Bridge Creek area. The Corporation Commission has had a protocol in place for a year now to deal with fracking operations that are causing earthquakes.
It has proven some things, that the issue of seismicity and hydraulic fracturing is a manageable one. It may differ from one location to another.
Matt Skinner, Chief Public Information Manager for the Oklahoma Corporation Commission, says their protocol has been put to use on the fracking operation just north of Bridge Creek, following the swarm of quakes that have occurred in recent weeks. Skinner says the quake activity stops almost immediately following the shutdown of the fracking activity. But there's an important key to that.
The sooner you know there's a problem, the quicker usually the remedy is going to be. In terms of effectiveness.
While the Commission has new software that allows them to plot quakes and their relationship to hydraulic fracturing operations, the quickest way for an operator to know they are causing earthquakes is to have their own equipment on site.
Those operators who have their own seismic arrays in the ground, they're not depending upon, say, a website for earthquake reporting and things like that. They have their own seismic arrays. They're able to see these tiny events very, very fast.
So far, the largest quake in the Bridge Creek area tied to fracking has been a 2.9 shaker on the 9th of last month. The largest quake related to fracking in the state so far is 3.4. The Commission says they have found in the last year 282 frack quakes out of more than 7,000 frack jobs in the state.
I mean, if you could look at the total number of completion operations that took place in the state last year, less than 4% of them had a temporal and spatial correlation to some sort of seismic activity.
Chad Warmington is president of the Oklahoma Oil and Gas Association, one of three groups that represents energy industry companies in the state. He is dismissive of frack quakes because they are relatively small in magnitude, and when compared to earthquakes caused by injection of wastewater, small in number.
They're small and rare and manageable, and I think the manageable part is an important distinction between these earthquakes that I think we're talking about now and the earthquakes that are happening in the northern part of the state.
And Warmington agrees that for now, at least, the Commission's approach to managing the frack quakes is working.
The goal was to keep them from being felt. A lot of the quakes that we're talking about are sub-3s and typically aren't felt. Some of these are being felt because there's a little maybe denser population around there.
Warmington also says studies show that once the fracking stops, so do the quakes.
These are typically only around a completion activity. The activity only takes place when the completion activity is going on or very shortly thereafter, and then they go away. And that's exactly what further study has shown in Canada and Ohio and other places that have seen this activity as well.
The studies from Canada actually found that frack quakes can continue several months after the fracking has ended. The Canadian study was based on more than 900 frack quakes over a 2-year period, the largest of which was 3.9, and it happened 2 weeks after fracking had ended. Oklahomans have had to deal with a lot of misinformation over the years about earthquakes and what is causing them. Warmington says that's ancient history, and Oklahoma now has a good and growing understanding of the situation.
I'd say if you look at the reduction in earthquake activity over the last couple of years, based on the actions, the aggressive actions, the unfettered aggressive actions that the Commission has taken, it's been successful, and that is what we should build on.
And Matt Skinner says the Commission's protocols on frack quakes are always up for review and possible changes.
discussions are always underway. We've gotten a lot more data over the course of the year. We'll just have to see what changes are going to be put in place or whether or not changes are needed.
So now we know that injecting huge amounts of wastewater from oil and gas operations underground can cause earthquakes, and so does actual hydraulic fracturing operations. And there now is a new concern. Only a couple of these quakes have been noticed, and they are small in magnitude, but the quakes occurred during what is known as flowback. It's the process where the fluid that was used to frack the shale formation is recovered from the well in preparation for more fracking or to clean up the well for production. What is causing quakes to occur during flowback remains a mystery.